Hey guys, it's Mr. Schmidt here. In this video, we're going to look at long run production costs. So, up to this point, we've been looking at short run production costs where at least one resource is fixed. The long run opens up possibilities for the firm because every resource is now variable, and that creates some different things the firm can do. So, the first one I want to talk about is returns to scale. So, in the long run, the firm has full control of their resources and can change any resource they want. But let's say, their returns on their investment, their returns to scaling or increasing the size of their business varies from business to business. So, what do I mean by that? Well, if a firm increases its inputs by, let's say, a factor of 50%, let's make the X 50%. If the output then increases by more than 50%, that means we have increasing returns to scale. So if you have a factor of two times, if you double your inputs, for example, and you more than double your output, you have increasing returns to scale, which means your resources are really working hard and giving you amazing levels of output. However, if your output increases by less than that factor, so maybe if the factor of input increases 50%, but the factor of output increases only, say, 10%, you have decreasing returns to scale, which means you have a situation where your resources are not really giving you the production you want. Maybe you're at that point in marginal product where you have diminishing returns. And so you're not getting as much out of those resources. And so, yes, your output's increasing, but not by very much. And then finally, if you increase your inputs by 50% and your output matches that, you get constant returns to scale, which I think most people, or probably most students, would think, well, that makes sense, right? If I increase my inputs by 50, my output increases by 50. So that's returns to scale. The other one, one more thing about returns to scale is keep in mind that returns to scale, we're focusing on production, not cost. For cost, let's look at economies of scale. So, with economies of scale, we're thinking about your long run average total cost. When I increase my output, if my average total cost responds by decreasing, I have economies of scale. So think about what's happening there. I'm increasing my output, but my costs on average are actually coming down, which seems counterintuitive. So, how is that the case? The example I use is Walmart or Sam's Club. If you've ever been in one of those, what Walmart and Sam's Club do is they have these giant stores, right? And then they sell a lot of stuff. And by doing so, they keep their costs low, enabling them to have low prices to drive out competition in order to increase their output, to lower their costs, to drive out competition, and so on and so forth. And so that's economies of scale. However, some firms have what are called constant returns to scale, which, yes, does look just like what we said over here with returns to scale. So, this term could refer to either production or cost, depending on the situation. So, you got to be careful with what terminology means. With constant return to scale, it could mean production or it could mean cost. So, you just got to be careful with the question. So back to economies of scale, if your output increases and your LRATC doesn't change, your long run average total cost doesn't change, you have constant returns to scale. And then finally, if long run average total cost increases as output increases, you have diseconomies of scale, which means you're in a really tough spot because you're increasing your output and your costs are just going up with it, which a lot of small businesses tend to have that problem. A great way to visualize this is with this graph here. So notice we've got quantity, our output, and then our long run average total cost. And you can see that initially, over lower levels of output, the firm experiences economies of scale, and then they get constant returns of scale and then diseconomies of scale. So you can kind of see these kind of stages here where this first stage doing good, fine, not so good, right? So a graph to keep in mind. And one thing that AP, the College Board, the AP exam, is fond of doing is making you realize that when we're talking about economies of scale or returns to scale for that matter, we're dealing with long run average total cost. So just be careful with that. If you're wondering, well, if constant returns to scale is the same thing on both, does economies of scale go with increasing returns to scale? Yes. If you have economies of scale, that probably means you're getting a lot out of your inputs. And diseconomies of scale does go with decreasing returns to scale, meaning you're not getting as much out of your inputs. Finally, a practice question here. Go ahead and pause the video, and then I'll go over the answer. All right, correct answer here is going to be A, increasing returns to scale. This is the definition. I'm increasing my output by more than I'm increasing my inputs, so increasing returns to scale. That's all for this video on long run production costs. Until next time, have a great day.